And their names are...
I thought the camera was on, but it wasn't. But no problem. As you can see, we got home all right. And I opened the trailer up a little bit with the side windows. These horses will actually stay in this trailer for a little while. I decided I'm going to hitch them, and believe it or not, they're both hitched right at the moment, and they're not fighting it. But as you also can see, I had the center door closed, so they can only go back so far, and they're actually hitting the door. So this is going to be their first lesson. I can see this is a little bit loose on the halter, but easy guy. I'm going to just make this a very short first lesson. This is their first tying up, and I would say they're doing excellent. This is the one that was tied earlier next to his mother when we were loading him. And this guy here has never been tied. Now these two horses, like Chad had said, this is only like the 5th time they've ever had halters on. They've never been tied, and they're doing great. Brenda's out working out there. I wanted to show you something. These are new lead ropes I bought. I bought the new halters also, but at Jonai's, our harness maker. And they have some sort of a new thing here. It's a nylon end to it, and it holds this rope in place. I've never seen one like this. I'm not sure how strong they are, but they're made so that you can actually slide this rope out and put a different snap in. And I don't know how well I'll hold out, but I was more than willing to give it a try. I'm really expected a little bit more fire from these two, being it's the first time they've ever been tied. Since they're very difficult to tell apart, one way we can tell is this guy here, his swirl is pretty well dead center. About center with his eyes. This guy's swirl is above his eyes, but it's not, it's off-centered a little bit. Not much, but it's off-centered a little bit. I know a friend of mine that pulls horses. He told me years and years ago that this swirl, to be a good pulling horse, has to be above the eyes, kind of more like this one here. But I don't know. I had my little Rocky horse I had. His swirl was way down here, and my goodness, he was a super pulling horse. So all those ideas don't always work out. But anyways, I also, because there's not a lot distinguish the two Colts, that's one of them. Brenda and Abby were saying how their hair is, and that is true. She has curly hair, or whatever it is the girls call it, and this guy is pretty well straight. But anyways, because of that, I decided to take the one halter and put red flagging type of thing on him, both sides, just so at a glance you can tell who is who. And I won't keep them on for very long, but a little while. So, anyways, I'm going to unhitch them. Randy, you want to see them? They're tied. Step up here. Don't come in though.
Just step up where you are.
If you want to see them.
Yes, I do. Can't see them.
We're on camera. They're both tied. They haven't put up hardly any fight at all. So I'm going to release them and take their halters off. And that will be it for lesson number 1 on their first day on the farm.
So at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what names we've decided. It's actually a name that somebody has suggested. But until then, I want to explain a few things about the trailer. I'm going to keep the horses here in the trailer for several days. There's several things I'm going to teach them right in here before I take them into the barn. It's a good way to do it. I've done this way before, and they can learn a lot right here. So here it is the next day. It's amazing. These colts have only been in here for actually exactly 24 hours, I believe, and the trailer is a big mess already. So I'm cleaning it out. I put the horses in the back part of the trailer, and I'll clean this side, and then I'll clean the other side. And put a little sawdust down for bedding.
Get out.
Okay. Hi, sweetheart.
Come in.
Want a drink?
I like to, I left the bucket out here, they tip it over, and so I'm not going to do that anymore, and besides, I'd rather they drank out of the bucket I'm holding.
Right.
It just works.
Well, they get used to you and...
Yeah. Okay.
So this is actually the second time today that I've hitched them and tied them, and one of them earlier did pull quite hard. The gate was open, so he was allowed to go back farther, and he really pulled hard, but he got over it. I spent a lot of time today just standing here and watching these colts. I didn't keep them tied very long, so I had to stay right there and watch them and then release them.
Time to swap.
Yeah, out there. We'll see how your brother does.
I have this center gate in my trailer with a sliding door in it, and it works really great. But they're actually a bit hesitant to walk through the door, and so I will leave it this way for a while so they get more used to going back and forth.
Here.
Oh, we got a bag here. Come on, Ryan, grab me up. 6 sandwich bags.
Okay.
That's all I want.
I brought a marker.
Okay, good.
So both the colts just passed some manure, so I am picking it up and putting it into a sandwich bag, and it will be going to the vets to take analysis of that for worms, so that I know exactly what worm medicine I will need to use on these colts. I will actually do my other 4 horses at the same time, but the manure has to be caught fairly fresh, so fortunately they both went together, and I'm getting them both ready now.
Two samples, one from each. Perfect.
So now I'll give the second one his lesson of standing and learning how to be tied.
He's not thrilled. Honey, don't hurt your butt.
So this morning I hitched this guy up. And he pulled pretty hard. But never got away, so that's good.
Pulled straight back.
But now it's doubly worse because you split them up into 2 packs. Yep. I pull here, I might, but he pull too far because he's going to hit this spot on the wall there. But he's not hitting and he's not pulling, that's a good thing. But I'm not going to fight with him, he can fight with himself. They learn just fine on their own. What's the matter, fella? Huh? Okay, this is video number 2. I have both the colts hitched up, tied. One in the front, one in the back. They're not overly happy about it all, but this is about the, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th time I've hitched them up. Different spots, different places. I like this way I have them right now. One in one side, one in the other. And I will actually leave them here for quite some time, tied today, and get them really get used to things. We are gaining on getting their stalls ready for them. Hopefully today I'll get that done. And I'll show you that on another video. But today, we've had a lot of people asking what we're going to name these colts. So let's go right to our name reveal that we have. So I want to tell you what we've decided on these colts, what the names will be. How should we go about explaining that?
Well, we had a few different categories of names that we thought were interesting and fun. Like names because they were suffix.
We do want to thank everybody for giving us names because we did have a lot of names suggested to us.
Yeah, and it was really hard to choose. But the suffix names that were interesting and fun were like Stuff and Punch and Judy and Red and Rusty. And then there was famous duos like Willin and Whaley and Dean and Frank.
Willie and Whaley.
I always say that. What is it? Willie
and Waylon.
I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Country singers.
Willie Nelson?
Okay, yeah. And
he is.
John Wayne, and Huck and Finn and Smith and Wesson. I guess those are guns, right? And Colt and Ruger and Bo and Luke for Bo and Luke Duke and Ernie and Bert and James and John, the famous disciples. And then there was tree names like Ash and Oak and Saw Logs and Elm and Pine, and work-related names like Tug and Yank. That was cute. Skid and Dozer, Snig and Tuck. Snig, I guess, is an Australian word that we found out about. And Nip and Tuck and Tug and Trace, and then things that made us laugh like Get Her Done, Get Her and Done. And Mike and Ike, they look alike, and Don't Stop.
And the list goes on and on and on and on.
I only got a couple more. Hank and Frank the Tanks, and that's pretty good. There was a lot of them.
So anyways, we have decided.
You can't wait.
There was someone that suggested the fact that since these are Suffolks and they were bred in England, that we should go with somewhat English-based names.
I think we should read the comment.
We can read the comment. Let's read the comment.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay. So since they're of British heritage, a proper British title is in order, rather than a good old Southern draft horse or mule name. So the Duke of Earl is a song, so it only makes sense. Wow. Duke and
Please,
Earl,
Duke.
since they're both one syllables and fit your criteria. So we want to thank Dave from what is it? Windmule Acres.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Dave.
thanks,
So,
Dave.
and their names are.
So that we decided would be a great way to go. So we're going to call this one right here Duke, and this one right here Earl. So not only do they get English
Titles.
they are names that I kind of like for other reasons too. Duke is actually a name I've always kind of liked for a horse, so that was a good idea. And Earl, a friend of mine who has since passed away, had a stretch where he was really into horses and pulling horses, and I used to pull with him years ago. And so his name is Earl, so it's kind of a great name to have to remind me of Earl. So, anything else you want to say?
I think their names are fitting. for
Yeah, I
their
think their names are
personalities.
fitting, but I would like to say that I love the name Fonz for this boy right here because of his crazy hair. But
'Cause she
I was
loves Fonzie.
overruled on that one, but thank you for the one.
We can only name him 2 names. She'll have nicknames throughout the years,
It'll
different
have
names.
nothing to do with their real
Nothing.
name, so
It's okay.
she'll probably call him Fonzie anyway.
Yeah, maybe.
So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Continue with us as we continue to make more videos. In a video very soon, they will be going into their new stalls in the barn.
Yay!
So that might not be the next one because I have so many things I'd like to show you in the training process with them. So I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
Duke, 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 Duke and Earl, 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 Duke and Earl, Earl, Duke and Earl, Earl, Duke and Duke and Duke, 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 Duke and Earl, 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 Duke and Earl, Earl.